Africa, a very warm welcome to you. It's Friday, finally. Welcome to Afternoon Express, and my name is Daliso Chaponda. Now, today we have an absolutely magical show lined up for you. Launching this weekend is the Cape Town Comedy Festival, and today we're joined by some international performers who are on the lineup, including Canadian funnyman Phil Nichol and Malawi-born Daliso Chaponda. Plus, I'll be sitting down with radio and TV personality to chat about everything from her career to family to, of course, skincare. But first up, they call him the card mechanic. Richard Turner is one of the world's most prolific sleight of hand artists. Over his long career, he's dazzled audiences around the world, and in 2017 was the subject of a critically acclaimed documentary called Doubt.
A mechanic is somebody who can fix something. An auto mechanic fixes a car, a body mechanic is a professional killer. I'm a card mechanic, I can fix a card game.
Ace of cards, Richard Turner.
He can do things with cards no one else can do. He's a trickster.
He is demonstrating the moves used by cheaters, the most difficult things you can do with a deck of cards.
I represent why you should never play cards with strangers.
When I saw Richard Turner perform, I was in the presence of greatness.
About halfway through the show, you can see different members of the audience realize it. This guy can't see.
People have introduced me saying, oh, by the way, he's blind. What does that have to do with anything? I'm just Richard Turner. You can just introduce me as that.
The statement that can be made about magic is that there aren't as many limits as we generally think.
Don't let anyone tell you that it's impossible.
I want to be known for what I do on its own merit because I don't consider myself disabled.
An international phenomenon, the man that has been behind a lot of card tricks that we just have to find out how did he do it. I am talking about the #1 and only Mr. Richard Turner.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I'm honored to be here with such a lovely lady with a pretty name, Daliso.
Oh, thank you so much,
Richard. It even
Richard.
rhymes, Daliso, pretty Daliso.
I love that. No, you seem to be definitely the man of so many talents. You seem to be good at almost anything and everything that you do. But starting off, I have to start with the cards.
Yes.
How did your love for magic and card games even begin for now you to be such an incredible man and ranked #1?
Yeah, I started off as a little boy watching the old cowboy westerns, where there was always a scene where a gambler is getting shot for cheating. I played cards. I wanted to make sure I won, so I started figuring out ways. In 1975, I met a man named Professor Di Vernon. And at the time, he was considered the best in the world with a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And he was known as the man who fooled Houdini. And Houdini was a very famous escape artist.
Yes.
And it was 100 years ago this year, 1920, that he fooled Houdini. And he was known as the man who fooled Houdini. And he took a liking to me, and I became the recipient of a century worth of his most guarded card table techniques.
But I know that in that journey of you working very, very closely with him, he set you up for failure. He would give you tasks that were impossible.
That is exactly right. Because I couldn't see.
Yes.
I started losing my sight when I was 9.
You were 9, yeah.
Yes. And so because I couldn't see, he tricked me. He would describe the moves to me in the way he wished he could do them, moves that he literally spent 50 years trying to do, never accomplished. And then he'd say, Richard, feel my fingers, feel this is how it's done. And I believed it could be done, so I practiced thousands of hours, some moves 10,000s of hours. And then I'd go back and he'd go, that's it, that's perfect. And then it was only years later that he admitted to me that most of it, he made it up. He just wanted to see what the crazy kid would come up with.
And the crazy kid pulled it off after time, practice, dedication, commitment. I mean, for all of our viewers at home, if that is not a life lesson, I don't know what is. If you don't know already, Richard lost his eyesight at 9 years old. So everything that you've learned has just been through practice and touch.
Exactly, touch. And because my sight went, my fingers became more sensitive. And because I averaged practicing about 14 hours a day with the cards, 7 days a week, year after year, decade after decade. Both of those hands enhanced each other. Sight, just no distraction, fingers very sensitive, and then I'm working with things on a microscopic level.
Yes.
Like, I'll show you something.
Please do. I'm very excited to get into this because I have tried to figure out how you do such incredible work. I've watched so many YouTube videos, so I want to see if you're able to trick me today, and if I can find out what makes you the card mechanic.
Yes, and just to define it for the audience, a mechanic is somebody who can fix a card game. Magicians do tricks for the purpose of entertainment. A card mechanic is somebody who at a card table maneuvers the cards in such a way that they get the money, and those techniques are many, many times more difficult to develop.
Absolutely.
And you cannot use misdirection or anything else, because in a card game, if you try to say, look over here while you do something over here, bang! And I'm from Texas, and they pulled out guns.
I can only imagine if you're a gambler and you definitely have a lot of money in order and money at stake. A lot of people want you right next to them, helping them out.
I have offers in Sun City here, and I'm going to tell the story. I'm performing at Artscape.
Yes.
And I'm doing my full show, and this is about a 5-minute story of how I was stalked around the world by a diamond dealer out of South Africa, out of Sun City, who wanted me to play in these high-stake games with the diamond dealers to try to control who got the money, him and his partner, and he was offering me what would be in your figure millions in your money to do for my part.
I heard about that he from stalking you on a plane to hotel rooms that you didn't even know you were going to be in. You'd find him.
There he'd be waiting for me.
Well, I think that says a lot about your talent and your skill. You are being headhunted across the world, so I need to get in on some of this action and find out how it all works.
Well, in a card game, first of all, you want to make sure the cards are evenly mixed. And in the casinos, they like the deck to be shuffled in about 15 to 17 seconds. So they will give the deck what's called a riffle shuffle. They do it twice. It's called riffle, riffle. Riffle shuffle. And then they do what's called a strip cut, reversing the top and bottom halves of the cards, another riffle, and another cut. That's basic casino procedure. That took about 12 seconds. And the deck should be pretty evenly mixed. Let's take a little peeky and see how evenly mixed the deck is.
Perfect.
Do we have ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Are they perfect?
That's so scary. Yes, that's perfect.
I shuffled them into perfect order.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I call an evenly mixed deck. Now watch, we're going to scramble them up face up so the audience can see. Because magicians have what are called shave cards, where they're different sizes, and we're going to mess all that up.
Yes.
And I'm going to give this deck a quick shuffle.
I mean, for our viewers at home, that you are not here physically to see the incredible work that Richard is doing, but all of these cards are identical. All these cards are the same size, same shape. There's no way to tell them apart, really.
Yes, and now you shuffle.
Okay.
And you do it any way you know how. So the point, I can be very sneaky when I shuffle.
Okay, yeah.
Now we'll see what happens when you do the
Let's even out the playing field and let me do some shuffling here.
Yes.
Viewers at home, you can really see I'm going for gold here. I am shuffling it up quite well. Here we go, Richard.
And very good. Side of my head. Perfect. Now, we're going to play a hand of poker, okay? And in poker games, well first of all, let's do something. They have what's called a wild card. Just cut the deck in half. Just cut off half.
Yes.
And they have what's called twos are wild. Other games, they'll just cut a deck, and that would be the wild card, just to make it more random. Just say any random number. 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, 1, 2. What's that card?
It's a 1 of hearts.
That's a no.
Ace of hearts.
That's an ace?
Yes.
Okay. 1 of hearts. Okay, yeah.
Ace of hearts. Oh, everyone at home, I am not much of a card person. I do not know much about this card life and card games. But what I do know are just the regular suits and the shapes.
Okay, now watch. I'm going to give this deck a shuffle. First, they cut the deck so that buries the top and bottom. And then they will shuffle them. And I'm watch again. I'll cut the deck, burying the top and bottom halves of the deck, and I'm going to give them a shuffle. Now, did everything look legit?
Yes.
In a game, you would have thought everything was legitimate. Now they have what's called the cut. Now, I want you to see the card on top of the deck. What is that card?
A 5 of spades.
The 5 is on top. So the deck is cut, and the deck is no longer cut. The 5 is still on top.
How did you do
I'll
that?
I'll show you. Watch again. I'll do it with the card face up. The deck is no longer cut. That's how fast I can uncut a deck of cards. Okay.
You know you're in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
In South Africa, people are saying, "Oh, umloyile." They're gonna think you're a witch doctor of some sort.
Oh, yes, and I have my drums and my sticks. Okay, now we can put the deck on a card. They put a card on the bottom to pin the deck. Okay. Now, you watch me give the deck a shuffle. Now we're gonna play a game of Texas Hold'em, the most popular poker game in the world. You pick a number of players, 5, 6, or 7.
5.
5 players. 1, 2, 3. Keep my messes in order.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Burn, and we have what's called the flop.
Okay.
And what are those 3 cards?
It's a king, a 6, and an ace.
Okay, a burn and a turn. What's that?
An 8.
8. Burn and a turn. What's that?
Ace.
Oh, 2 aces. And let's get rid of our burnt card. And you're my partner. You're sitting over here in hand number 4. Let's see if you have a good hand. What's that card?
An ace.
What's that card?
Ace.
4 aces. Yeah. You just whipped their heinies big time.
So I would have been a winner.
Oh, big time winner.
Where's my money?
Where is it? You forgot to bed.
I forgot to bed.
You forgot next time
That
you...
is miraculous.
Okay, now...
That's scary.
Let's make sure they're all face down, yes?
Yeah, oh, no.
Let's turn them all face down. I'll let you fix it.
Thank you.
That's your job.
That is so scary.
The easiest job.
That I can do.
Yeah.
Okay, there
now
we go.
square them up when you're done. Square them up when you're done.
Yes.
Now shuffle them up.
Okay. This is the last one, and then we have to go to ad break.
Yes,
So
they're quickie. Would you like me to cut one of your aces to the top of the deck, to the bottom of the deck, or right from the middle of the deck? You choose.
I'm all about being number 1 on top.
So you want me to cut a card to the top? I'll give the deck a triple cut. What is that?
Oh my gosh, how did you do that?
Do you want it top, bottom, or middle?
That's so scary.
Top, bottom, or middle, real quick.
Middle.
Right out of the middle. She wants it right out of the middle. I know we have to go to break, so I'm going to speed up the process. What are those 3 cards?
No ways! I quit!
Bingo!
That's so scary! How did you do that?
I don't know. I got lucky. Oh, we got lucky.
Thank you so much,
Oh,
Richard,
my
for blowing
pleasure.
my mind this Friday. If you did not think that your week could get even more spectacular, it being the end of the week, well, it just did. I have to go to ad break after this, so coming up after the break, I sit down with media personality Use Chaba to talk about beauty, success, and family. Plus, the Cape Town Comedy Festival is kicking off this weekend, and coming up on the show, we meet some of the international stars. See you after the break. Oh my goodness, Richard.
Bye-bye.
I'm Yaneska Rademan. I am 24 years old. I'm a set decorator and an aspiring actress. Welcome to my crib. This is the lounge area. I don't really make a lot of food here because I tend to burn it. Yeah, that's enough. Let me show you my view from my room.
Hello, senior Mike, is he?
So I still live with my parents. That's why I actually need to win this money. Okay.
There's only one person like Yaneska. She's fun to be around and the type of person that you can't get enough of. So I think she would be perfect for this competition.
What I'm gonna bring to the competition is fun and kindness. Maybe I'm a little bit competitive. Maybe I'm a lot. Let's see. I'm Yaneska Rademan. Watch me on Tropica Island of Treasure, Curacao, coming to you soon on SABC 3.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and I hope that you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon. Now, radio and TV personality Chaponda has taken the broadcast industry by storm with her bubbly personality and undeniable style. It's no wonder why she's an icon to just so many. Not only does she shine in her career, but she looks amazing too. When it comes to strong, successful women, she really sets the benchmark. Now, connect with us online if you've got any questions for Sechaba. Tweet us at Afternoon Chats using the hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. Welcome, Sechaba, girl.
With that kind of an intro, can I just camp here for the rest of my life? Thank you very much.
Well, that would you'd be doing us a huge favor because you are definitely a woman of many talents. You are, you know, one of the strongest personalities that the South African entertainment industry has seen, and you do it so effortlessly with such grace.
Oh, wow.
I mean, how does that feel to look back at the career that you've had, being radio, television? I mean, you've just been commissioned for another season.
Of season 20, actually.
Season 20.
Yes. So I first have to replay that in my mind. Season 20 of such a dynamic show, a show that is going to be enabling me to have progressive conversations with amazing women. We're going to be pushing the boundaries. We're going to be taking the 21st century woman into the next 20 years. So I love the fact that we get to represent every single type of woman with Motswako, and I'm excited to be part of season 20. It's crazy to even say that.
I love that. And you know that song, I'm every woman.
Well, hello.
Yeah, it's all in you, baby girl, because I think that, you know, even being a mother on top of everything that you do, holding down your hubby, being a wife, being that support structure and system, is it easy for you to flip between all the different roles that you play in your life and still have such a strong business acumen?
Balisa, I'd be lying if I said it's easy. I think I don't want to lie to other women out there who are very career-driven, but also want to get married and start a family, or not get married but start a family. It's a matter of understanding that you need to flow with things. A very good friend of mine said something that, sorry, the minute you asked me that, I thought about it. And we talked about it because we're both moms and we're both career women. It's not necessarily about balance. It's about understanding that there's a flow. There'll be good times. There'll be bad times. There'll be times where you feel like you're thriving in your career, and there'll be times where the mom guilt kicks in. But there'll be times where you just have to count the blessings, have to count the positive moments, and accept that you're doing the best that you can.
You are. Everyone says that it's kind of like cyclical, where when one thing isn't really the priority, the other thing is, and that circle keeps moving round. But you have had such an outstanding career. When you look back right now and you see where you are in life, is this it for you? Do you feel like, okay?
I'm sorry to chip in. I got excited.
No, go through.
Because there's just still so much that I want to do. I've been off radio for 2 years. I miss it terribly. Motswako was my debut on television, but I feel like there's still so much that I need to do. There's still so much learning that I need to sort of experience. So there's loads more. I want to add entrepreneurship to my role as well. I want to add philanthropy to my role. And I know we start small, but yeah, to answer your question, there's loads that I want to do. We'd need like a little more than the time that we have. But yeah, I still feel like there's lots I'm going to do. People need to watch out.
I love that answer because it's showing that you are determined. It doesn't matter time, opportunity, you're just going for it. And 2020 looks really, really bright for you.
Ooh, I'm excited.
You're based up in Johannesburg now. You used to be in Cape Town. So you seem to be traveling the country and taking every opportunity as it comes. If you were to look back and say career highlights, what would they be?
Career highlights was trusting a station manager at a university station when I was doing a school tour in Matric, who said to me, babe, try radio.
Wow.
Give this career some thought. And I really, honestly, and genuinely think you'll do very well. Trusting him and going back home. I didn't think it was a thing. I didn't think I could pursue it as a career. But I actually went home, and people think it's crazy, but I knocked on the door of a community radio station and I said, can I sit and camp and just watch the presenters do what they do? No pay, nothing, for weeks.
I just want to observe.
Observe. Nothing but observe. And I think that's the thing with our generation. We want immediacy. We're so obsessed with immediate results. And unfortunately, having done radio for 10+ years, there's absolutely no such thing. So trusting my instincts. Motswako, season 19, my TV debut, was also a highlight.
I think you've got so much on your list. It's crazy. But this is interesting to me that one of your highlights, and the one that springs to mind, is not one where you won an award. It's not one where you're rubbing shoulders with the who's who. It's something that happened in the foundation phase of your life where you saw a gem of an experience and you've made that now something that keeps you inspired moving forward?
Because those moments led me to my calling. So I need to keep remembering them, if you know what I mean.
Trust is everything in this career, trusting yourself and trusting your journey in it. How have you found your walking day to day? I mean, we always have these conversations offline, whereas, you know, it's not easy and some things surprise you, but some things you're like, oh, I slid over that quite simply, and that was kind of comfortable for me. That was a soft landing. What surprises have you found along the way?
My surprises are that it's not as glamorous as it seems, it's not as smooth sailing as it seems, and it's not as easy as it seems. So back to the conversation of us wanting things to come freely, to come easily, to come frequently. I think once you put in the work, follow your calling, be consistent and work so hard, you end up reaping the rewards. So I think for me, what has surprised me is my consistency, because I tend to get bored very easily. But I've been pushing this and I can't, I close my eyes for a second and I'm like, do you picture yourself doing anything else? And the answer till this day is no.
That is true purpose and passion. And when the two come together, something so beautiful happens. Magic happens, as we've seen. Now, I also have to find out from you, you know, having such a busy schedule, a lot of us can't find or rather fit in self-care time to sit back and be like, okay, Daliso needs to feed herself, whether it's her skin, whether it's going in her stomach, before you have to give out to others. How do you find that self-care time?
You're talking to a mom of two, so it's literally time that I have to schedule and I have to be pedantic about it. But I think for me, I have my husband and my kids. My youngest is a year plus now. So I'm still getting around the fact that I'm raising a toddler and a 7-year-old. So yeah, when the little one's napping and my oldest is at school, I'll be doing the peels when I can do the peels, hydrating, minding my own business. Standard.
Drink water, stay moisturized, and mind your own business.
And I have me time. I am quite selfish in that regard. I do believe a cup of coffee by myself or a spa date by myself where I just have a facial and a massage. Me time is crucial, so yeah.
I know, I can just also start in some of my experiences with me time. My best self-care is Sunday. Sunday self-care. I sit down. I am so obsessed with this Afroderm product that this brand is just changed my entire life.
You're looking amazing.
Thank you so much.
Share your secrets.
She actually, it's so funny that you say that, because Secha was like, Daliso, what are you doing, girl? There's this glow about you. Well, the secret is officially out the bag. I'm using this incredible product called Afroderm. When you're talking about hydration, when you're talking about cleansing, when you're talking about getting out those impurities and putting back health and wellness back into my skin, I mean, from their one-step cleanser to their magical micellar water, talking about magic again, it truly does create wonders. So I know and I feel exactly what you go through on the day, the daily. It's so important. And I know with what we find is that we've got a lot of makeup on us.
From time to time when we have shoots. So I try by all means that if I'm not doing something where I need to have a full face beat or makeup, just keep it natural.
Keep it natural.
Keep it natural.
I love that. And what helps keeping it natural, making sure that the health is taken care of, is good quality products. I can't mention that enough. Now, we do have some questions for you coming through from social media. And we've got our first question here from I am Miss Kimi on Twitter, who asked, hey, everybody. Hey, girl. Sechaba, how did you get into the industry and what practical advice can you give others wanting to get in? And they use that hashtag Afternoon Express.
All right. In terms of getting into the industry?
Yep.
So I literally went to a show. I went to a show and it was the Grahamstown Arts Festival. What happened is I actually fell ill the time I arrived and we ended up having to reshuffle my schedule. Accidentally ended up in a radio workshop, got in. I was like, what is going on? And that's when I think throughout the course of the workshop, the station manager came through and said, I think you should pursue this. So it was accidental for me, but I think if you know it's what you want to do, try pursue something. If you're in university, do your research with regards to university stations. If you stay in a town somewhere, Google where your community radio stations are, ask to see the relevant people and start from the bottom. Do not expect immediate results. That's what I can say.
Time and time again, it sounds like this popcorn generation, this micro microwave generation, wanting things to be instantaneous is not the way to go. If you want longevity and if you want success, definitely you have to commit, you have to invest in yourself and make sure you have the knowledge. So thank you for that piece of advice. We've got a question here from Shireen Adams. He says, hi, Sechaba, how did you manage everything in your life when it comes to your career and your personal life?
Support, consistency, hard work, and also understanding that certain things are your calling. So when it is your calling, you have absolutely no choice but to pursue it relentlessly and to give it your all. But support does play a massive role. I don't think I'd be where I am without the support system that I have.
Never think that you're an island. No. You cannot do it all by yourself, and you can't be everything to everyone. Thank you so much for being the incredible woman that you are to us here at Afternoon Express.
I love you guys.
Being part of our family. You've already promised us not to move a muscle. So, Joburg, it's too late. She's staying in Cape Town. Thank you so much, girl. Now, Sechaba has definitely made her mark in broadcasting arena and still maintains a balanced personal life and an incredible mother and wife. Her remarkable resilience is carried across through all these many different platforms. Ambitious, strong, and ready to push the boundaries. This is Sechaba Qeba, and may she continue to move and inspire others.
Thank you so much for having me. This was lovely. Love you.
You're beautiful. Love the shade of your skin. An all-in-one solution for beautiful skin.
The Cape Town Comedy Festival is about to kickstart at the Artscape and see some of the funniest local and international comedians descend to the mother city for a week of belly-aching laughs. I'm ready to laugh. Now, joining us now is one such comedian, Daliso Chaponda, who was born in Malawi and resides now in the UK.
I am. But the biggest difference in Africa is actually the churches. Clap your hand if you've been to an African church. You should all go whether or not you are religious, because we have fun in there. There are people clapping, right? People singing, people jumping up saying, hallelujah, amen, it's a party. This is what I grew up with. The first time I went to a British Anglican church, I was confused. It was so boring. I was like, somebody stand up. God is busy. You've got to get his attention.
Today is definitely a Friday that's going to springboard us into the weekend with funny laughs all the way. Head over to social media if you've got any questions for Daliso. Tweet us, Instagram us, or head over to our Facebook. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Good to be here. Wonderfully to be back in Cape Town.
Back in Cape Town, the mother city is so proud to host you once again. Now, your life and your journey in comedy has been quite the interesting one. I mean, in 2017, we saw a huge launch in your career.
That was my big jump, because I did Britain's Got Talent. Before that, I was a working comedian, but that took me to the point where now I'm known globally. It's lovely.
And I was actually speaking to yourself and Phil earlier on. Phil is a comedian we're going to have later on in the show. And he was saying that the experience that they had at the airport was like no other. The fans were flocking to you. He was slowly going back, because he was once having a conversation face to face, and next thing, people just had to get a piece of Daliso.
It's anytime I'm back in Africa, because I feel like as much as the rest of the world embraced me, Africans got very patriotic. Like, it's one of us. So there are people who even don't find me funny. They're like, I don't like you, but I like that you're out there.
I like that you're African and you're making a mark.
Exactly.
That is so beautiful. So how has your life changed besides the fans and the attention? How's your life changed from being just, a hardworking, nearly said magician, hardworking comedian to the stage that you are today, internationally renowned?
The biggest difference is having an audience. Like, I love jokes. I had no choice but to become a comedian. Ever since I was a little kid, before I knew what a comedian was, I just loved laughter, making people laugh. I was the crazy kid at school. And having now, if I have a funny idea, I write it down. I know that within a week, like, thousands of people are going to see it. And it's just great having that audience now.
That's a lot of power. How does that feel, to know that the jokes and the words that you say have such a huge audience?
Oh, it's power, and power corrupts, so I'm very corrupt. I'm very corrupt. I could compete with one of your politicians, 100%.
That is so scandalous, but you wouldn't be a comedian if you didn't push the boundaries.
I also think the thing is, comedians have the power to say stuff that people think but don't say. And we get to say it because we're idiots. That's the idea.
Absolutely. So how did your journey in comedy start? I mean, you've always said you've always been a funny guy,
I was always
been the
funny,
class clown.
but I was actually very geeky. I was that very straight A student who everybody thought was going to be a professor or something like that. But then when I went to university in Canada, I discovered comedy, and there was no turning back. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And once I started doing it, I didn't want to do anything else.
It's that momentum and that ripple effect that we can see that completely took over your career, took over your life. And we see the same with so many other proudly South African, or rather African comedians like Trevor Noah, who find themselves now on an international stage. How do you feel about that? Do you find there's a brotherhood, a camaraderie around Africans around the world doing comedy?
It's amazing because I think comedians, we're the ones who tell the rest of the world that Africa isn't just that ad of the starvation. Right? Which is, people can have one image of Africa, and humor in comedians is one of the best ways of seeing the positive sides, the complicated sides, the contradictory sides of Africa. And that's why I'm the real ambassador, okay? Forget the person who's got the name. The comedians are the ambassadors to the world.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. And what I love about us Africans is, doesn't matter what we're going through, the trials, the tribulations, when things are really, really dark, we will always find a punchline in it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, you are going to be out there doing your thing at the Cape Town Comedy Festival.
I'm doing 2 shows. I'm doing the Bafani show, and then I'm also doing the United Nations comedy show, which I fit in straight because my father actually, when I was growing up, was in the UN. He was in the UNHCR for refugees. So now I am the UN comedian.
Oh, so you are a man of many talents and a man who is doing 2 shows in 1 week. That is so incredible. All the best to you.
We're doing 7 shows, but it's 2 different shows. It's shows every day. If you want me, find any of the shows.
Oh, so much to look forward to. Definitely make your way out if you are in Cape Town or surrounding areas. Now, coming up after the break, we head over to the kitchen where Domi will be whipping up a sweet treat that is perfect for the weekend. See you after the break.
Tropical Island of Treasure is back for a 9th season, and this time around we're coming to you from the Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shared 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, looking for a sweet treat to entertain your guests this weekend, our Clover Olive Pride mini almond loaves shows off with its glorious nutty flavors and smooth richness of Clover Olive Pride extra virgin olive oil. To get this recipe, simply SMS the keyword Clover to 33650. SMSs are charged at R1.50 and free SMSs do not apply. Chef Dumi.
Yes, girl.
I have been dancing all week to your food. It's so delicious, but now we've got something sweet.
Yes.
You have a mini loaf for us.
Yes, we've got the dessert. Throughout the week, we've done savory. It's time to get that dessert in.
I'm ready.
So we're going to do our mini almond loaves today. I'm going to get started here. What we've got in this bowl is some creamed sugar and egg. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to mix all these ingredients together, but while I do that, I'm going to ask you to get started with the topping for the loaves for us.
Stunning.
That's the almonds, the sugar, and the zest. Just put those together.
Okay, so I'll first put the zest in the sugar. Correct. To add that lemony, orangey flavour to the sugar.
While you're doing that, I've added some orange juice into my eggs and sugar as well. And I'm adding some orange zest as well. Okay. And then I'm going to put some of our olive pride, our main ingredient, to our loaves today. I'm not sure if you know this about the oil. It actually is cholesterol free, meaning it's good for your heart. It's actually approved and certified by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Beautiful. So it's great for your heart.
And you know what I always say is the heart is like the engine of the whole body. So you need to ensure that your heart health is at optimum. So on that note, because this olive pride is so good for us, I'm going to add some to the topping, to this almond mixture.
Because what that's going to do is going to help hold that almond mixture together so that when we put it onto the cake, it actually doesn't fall apart. It actually holds together because we want to create some sort of a crumble on top as well.
Nice. Okay. So this is basically good for all the above. I love that. I love a good ingredient that can do a lot in the kitchen.
A versatile product,
It makes life so much easier. It also saves the budget, saves the pocket.
Exactly,
because you buy one thing that can sort out everything. Trust me, I'm signed up.
Exactly. So now I've just added my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients, and I'm going to quickly incorporate these together. And once we've done that, I'm going to ask you just to brush our buns, our tins with some of that olive oil to also make sure that they're nicely prepped for when we put them into the oven.
Okay, so that the loaves don't stick onto the paper and the paper.
Yeah, and then we're going to put the greaseproof paper on top of the oil because we want to be able to pull them out easily without struggling.
Nice, okay. So the topping is ready. Let me get the baking trays ready as well. So as instructed by our dear Dumi, I'm going to put just a little bit.
And these cute little tins are actually perfect. We're going into the Easter season now, so if you'd like to gift someone with these beautiful little loaves, just make it ready, and then go gift your... I keep saying Mama Zala as if I have a husband, but like, you know, if you
Are you trying to tell us something to me? Is someone on the brain?
Hint, nudge, nudge, you know?
This is beautiful. This is lovely and ever so quick and easy to make. But before you put that in, let me just line it with some paper. And I definitely want you to try this weekend. Whether you're entertaining guests, having a dinner party, and you want a little personalized desserts for each guest, SMS the keyword Clover to 33650, and you can try these delicious almond, nutty flavored loaves at home.
And you don't want to pack these too fully because then they still need to rise because we did put some baking powder in there.
Okay.
So you just need to make sure you leave a bit of space at the top. And then what that does is that it allows them to actually... as they bake in the oven, they actually fill up the whole tin.
Beautiful. Okay, so always leave a little bit of space for movement and growth.
Do you want to just fill up your own there?
My last
how well I've taught you in this kitchen of ours.
Okay, I'm going to make it super messy. I'm sure all this batter is going to go everywhere.
Girl, if it's not messy, then you're not doing it right.
And you're not having fun in the kitchen. No, this is delicious. I'm excited to try this weekend because, you know, it is a friend's 30th tomorrow, and I was looking for the perfect gift to gift him with, and this definitely does tick the boxes. You know what they say, if you take care of someone's stomach, they're happy with you all the way. So I'm definitely going to be gifting this. Okay,
let's get that last one in.
No, it's okay. We'll
Perfect.
So you put this in the baking.
And there we go.
Tray in the oven. Please put that in the oven for us.
And as you can see over there,
it comes out looking this delicious. I kind of want to have one now with some tea. This looks so delicious, so cute. You pop on a ribbon and you make a little edible arrangement, perfect for any occasion. Remember to SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 to get this recipe. But just in case you've missed any of the steps, we've got a recap, and here it is.
with love by Clover. Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Delicious recipe. Now, we have more laughs for you coming up after the break as we chat to Canadian comedian Phil Nichol, who is in South Africa for the Cape Town Comedy Festival. See you after the break. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, Canadian comedian, musician and actor Phil Nichol joins the ranks at the Cape Town Comedy Festival this weekend, and we're lucky enough to have him in the laugh. Now, he's brought along his guitar for an incredible special performance. Now, Phil, you're going to be performing a Spanish song.
Well, yeah, kinda.
Kinda. So take it away. I'm looking forward to it.
If you know Spanish, don't expect very much of it. I want to say that I wrote this song for a very special man. I wrote the song for Daliso Chaponda when I met him this summer in Ibiza, you know, one of the hedonist capitals of the world. And I want to thank Daliso for coming out today. And you look a lot different in men's clothing, by the way. I'm kidding, you don't. I was sitting in a hot tub, covered in bubble bath, being tickled by a guy in a gorilla suit with a really big banana. But it wasn't a guy in a gorilla suit, it was a really hairy Spanish man. But it was a banana. Yeah, it was a banana. It was a banana. It was a banana. I looked at the bubbles of the hot tub that day at Daliso, and he looked away. And it broke my heart. So I went home to Canada, I wrote some jokes, I learned to play the guitar. I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland and won a major comedy award so I could be here today on Afternoon Express in Cape Town. It's my career, all right? I'm here so I can sing Daliso this song. Look at me! Look at me! I'm enjoying this more than you are, by the way. Ha! Ha! Randala bam bam dan dan de bandaleno. Oh. bandandendo canamuccio, randala bambandandero canamaghetti, canalone. Randala bambandandandandandandande, canta reno, randala cadendo cantarene, letto bando cantarene, la cucaraccia, everybody, letto bando cantarene, letto bando cantareno, letto bando cantarene, dandero, dande, I'm going to give you a very sleazy massage. I'm going to give you a sleazy massage. Daliso, 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 Daliso. I want to make you love me so. What am I doing? Do you ever stop yourself at work and think, what am I doing with my life? I just had that moment there. Here we go. Yeah, Daliso Chaponda! Hey, 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 hey.
Oh my goodness, I never expected it, South Africa. What a truly incredible performance. Phil, please, may you come on over. Bring your funny self over here. What an incredible performance. I'm still, my cheekbones are even sore from laughing. Now connect with us online if you've got any questions for Phil. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using our official hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. A funny man indeed.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Palisa. Oh, I didn't know if that was going to work, because you do understand it's not actually Spanish.
Well, I came to learn. I feel betrayed.
Why?
I was like, today I'm going to learn some Spanish, a little bit of señorita.
Señorita,
chica. And all I get is a...
Oh, well, that's how it sounds to me. I know one Spanish phrase. You know what it is? It's está roto.
Está roto.
Está roto. Sounds good. Está roto.
What does that mean?
Está roto. It means this is broken.
Well, do you know what is broken? What is broken is your sense of knowing where you are and location. Because don't think I forgot. I saw that you turning back to see Afternoon Express. I saw that. No, but you are such a phenomenon.
No,
you're so incredible. You've got this electric energy that people just are so obsessed with.
Well, thank you.
Your love for entertainment and being in the industry, you know, started off in different fields and found its way to comedy. So tell me about your love for the arts.
Well, I mean, I've been doing this from a very young age. I was an actor when I was a child, when I was young, and I won an award when I was about 15. And part of the award was to take an improv course with a guy called Keith Johnson, who is a Canadian guy who invented Impro, the book, and created theatre sports, which is now a worldwide thing, a way of learning how to act in improv. And so I did that. Then I went to acting school, and then when I was in acting school, I started a 3-piece comedy act, and then we did that for 10 years. I was on Mad TV in the States. And then I've been living in Britain for the last 23 years being a stand-up comedian.
How are you finding it? Because I know you make it seem so easy, and it seems like comedy just flows from your bones and exudes out, and it's just something that people are so drawn to. But it couldn't have always been easy. I mean, I know you said when you started off doing your solo comedy act, you would die horribly on stage.
Yeah, well, sure, I still do every once in a while. It might even happen while I'm here. When I was born with a very clinical stutter and a lisp, so I couldn't speak properly until I was about 9, 10 years of age. So I had a real severe speech impediment. And I think what happened is when I overcame that speech impediment, you just then could not shut me up. So now I'm just like, and because of I also moved school a lot because my parents are Scottish, and I moved from Scotland to Canada, and then I went back to Scotland, then went back to Canada. Between age 9 and 13, I went to about 5 or 6 different schools with a stutter and a lisp. So by the time I got around to being a performer, I use my mouth, I use my humor. And if there's any kids out there that are watching this, if you've got any kind of stutter or lisp or anything you think that's holding you back, don't let it hold you back. Let it propel you forward and let it turn into your dream.
Absolutely, not letting anything stop you. The sky's the limit, and not allowing whatever comes into your life, whether it's something emotional, something physical, like a speech impediment, to stop you from achieving your dreams. We're going to be seeing you this week out at the Artscape for the Comedy Festival. What do you have up your sleeve?
Well, I can hardly
More
wait.
singing?
More singing, lots of silly. I'm really silly. I run around and I make fun of the audience, and I'm a bit rude. I'm a bit funny. I sing songs, and my goal is to make you laugh hysterically. So come to the Artscape and laugh hysterically.
I love that. Basically, being Phil. He is just being himself on stage. Thank you so much, Phil, for coming through. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you up on stage.
Thank you, Lisa.
Pleasure. Oh, I love that. After the break, we've got more incredible funniness and magic. So much up our sleeve. We're heading towards the end of the show. Do not move a muscle. See you after the break.
I've never met someone with a heart like this.
He embodies what it means to be selfless.
Even when I was in a state of panic, she saw me through bravery.
Often the bravest people don't see themselves as others do. Join us in celebrating these brave heroes. Nominate the pharmacists and healthcare professionals in your community making a real difference and stand a chance to win 5,000 Rand.
Enjoy the ultimate family safari experience at the Protea Hotel by Marriott Krugergate. This offer includes upmarket safari lodge-style accommodation on the banks of the Sabi River in our Queen guest rooms for 2 adults and 2 kids sharing, plus a buffet breakfast and dinner daily. With rooms from 3,200 Rand a night, take this magical African safari and spa-scape to the Protea Hotel by Marriott Krugergate.
back to Afternoon Express. Now, the Cape Town Comedy Festival kicks off this weekend, and today we're joined by a few international acts, Richard Turner, Phil Nichol, and Daliso Chaponda. Now, Richard, you've got something special for the gents.
Oh, we're going to close out with just showing you a secret move used by professional hustlers if they spent 20 years with a deck of cards. Okay. Pull out a card, Phil.
Okay.
Got one?
Yep, got one.
All right. Show the camera and the audience and anybody who cares to look. Hand it to me face up.
Okay.
Tell everybody what it is.
It's the Three of Hearts.
Watch the Three of Hearts. The gambler wants the Three of Hearts. The Three of Hearts is on top of the deck. So what happens is the gambler will deal cards to the other players. Only when I'm ready, I deal the Three of Hearts. Watch face up so you can see what's happening. See, the card sits there as the second card is dealt, but you have to deal it as neatly as if you're dealing off the top.
Yeah.
The first card that was dealt, whichever one it was, is not the Three of Hearts. Watch again. I deal it super slow motion, super slow motion.
Slow motion, just as we're about to say goodbye to our viewers.
Super slow.
This is such
we're
incredible.
fading out in slow motion.
Whoa.
See,
Whoa.
I deal to the other players. Let's turn a face up so we can fade out as that card slowly fades to the...
I mean, South Africa, if you're not a believer now, I don't know what more convincing you need. Thank you so much, Richard, a true professional. And thank you, South Africa, for tuning in, making our day every day. Good night and God bless. Bye.
Bye.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.